Mansour Meets. What's going on, people? Mansour.
Silently underneath.
What's going on, people? You know the vibes, Mansour Bello. And you know this one is a big one. I interview celebrities every day, but I don't interview legends, pioneers. You get me? People that set the way, you know, the blueprints. Taz, thank you very much.
My brother, such a big intro, man.
He didn't even pay me for that intro as well. That was coming from me. That was genuinely coming from me.
Blessed, my brother.
What is happening, man? Thank you for coming. Thank you for, you know, making time out of your busy schedule.
Yeah, man, you know, obviously I see how you do your thing as well, and you know, I respect that. I want to respect you as well, the way you do your thing and maneuvering. And yeah, man, I just thought, let me sit down with you and let's have a chat, man, of some things that are coming, some old things, some questions that people may have out there and asking. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it, baby.
Let's jump straight in. Before we even start, I always like to do a timeline with people, and when I'm looking at your bio, if I didn't see you, I'd think you're at least 99. Because their bio's mad, the things that you've accomplished, the things you've done. But let's take it back to when you was in Jamaica, them times there, early days, before you've come to London. You obviously you're vibing with people like Beanie Man. You know you had that culture with you. And what was that like?
Well, there was two segments in that. So the first, I came here when I was free.
Yeah.
And when I came here when I was free, my influences was Tiger, Yellow Man, Ninja Man.
Yeah.
So everybody in my community in Yallis, Pondview Scheme, you know, St. Thomas, Jamaica, if you told them I would become a musician, they knew I was always
it's in the blood.
It's in the blood. I was always kind of very out, flamboyant, copying Tiger, Ninja Man, these kind of people, especially Yellow Man. Big up Yellow Man, Nuff. Yellow Man is a big part of my history and my life. And then there's another segment when I came to England for a while, and then went back at about 11.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's so much, because my mom sent me back and forth to Jamaica quite a lot.
Behaviour reasons, yeah?
Behaviour reasons. If you're not learning, I've got Jamaica and got you.
Like, when you was based in the UK, where were you living?
I was, I'm between Vauxhall and Kellerton. So we first...
South Londoner.
South Londoner, but we first came here to Finchley. Finchley, we came northwest. We came from Finchley, and then we settled in Vauxhall, Kellerton.
Cool. When you started your musical journey in London, now, how did that happen? What was the procedures?
Okay, so there's one first start. I remember the first ever check that I ever received. That was with a lady called Cassandra Fox. She done a big hit song called Touch Me in the Morning with Rio de Silva. Touch Me in the Morning. Massive tune. One day, she was getting her album together, and she one day said, I like vibing with you in the bedroom, because we knew each other and we vibed. She said, I like vibing with you. I'm gonna actually put you on a record. So I beatboxed the record. Big up Fraser T. Smith. Fraser T. Smith is it was a Dry as a Bone studio or something like that. Fraser T. Smith is the guy that produced all the Tayo Cruz, Tinchy Strider. Remember them hits that were coming out that day? Dappy, number one, all that. That was Fraser T. Smith. So I went there. I done the beatbox and I saw how they were living. They were living Italian, they were eating the best food. And I said, I like this lifestyle. And that's got me my first £500 check.
And how old are you then?
I was about 17 probably,
Mad.
Got me my first, Cassandra Fox, big up yourself. She got me my first check. So that got me my first life. And Dry as a Bone was there, who done Real Love, Fraser T. Smith, and it was Craig David's studio, I think it was, So all that just made me, and he is Craig David's guitar player as well, Fraser T. Smith. So that was my first ever check.
Another thing I want to ask, this was one of the main reasons I wanted to speak to you. With everything that you've done at such an early stage, you come up in an era where there was no social media. But I feel like if you had social media around the time when you was doing what you were doing, you'd have a Grammy by now.
It would be crazy.
It'd be crazy. All the stuff you could have been documenting. How do you feel? Do you feel like you've been, you know, not hard done by, but not, people don't really get to see who Taz is or what he's done because of the lack of maybe social media or people just not knowing certain things?
Well, there's a lot of politics within my situation. I mean, we'll get into that. I was signed to Def Jam UK. It was a good time, you know. Big up DJ Simtex.
Sorry to cut you, because even before we get to Def Jam,
you're
the only UK artist
to
be signed to this current day.
Current day.
Big up yourself, man. Talk about yourself, man.
apart from Slick Rick, which is the US one.
Yeah,
But,
but he ain't really UK. You went to
UK.
get authentic, you know what I mean?
So, yeah, big up DJ Simtix on that. So, you know, I think that I walked away for my own purposes, for my own, I think there's a time and a place for everything. And also, this was a woman mistake. For me being an artist, I didn't really, I was just like vibing with my brothers. And obviously, I never tapped into all my skills that I have. I'm a businessman. I like building businesses.
Yeah.
I like to also produce. I like writing. I like the whole creativity of the studio. Being a popular person is a whole different job. That's where people get it twisted, isn't it? That's a whole different job.
Popular and productive is two different things. Yeah,
it's a whole different self. And I never wasn't prepared for the popularity. It's a lot for me, you know, to go from a kid from a council estate to everybody just going. Remember, there was only a few of us in the UK rap, and I was.
You was like
really.
You was the poster boy for it. To be honest with you, yeah. Everybody was like, yeah, Taz.
It was a lot for me. I think depression and a lot of people who could have mentored me. They you know, I had a lot before me, Soul to Soul. You know, these kind of people I needed to speak to. They need to tell me about the music industry, because to prepare you to be in front of the camera is a whole different thing. It's too much for me. It's like very fake people, if I can be honest. Very people that want to know you for who you are. I'm a spiritual person. I'm a man of God as well, innit? So to say people are praising me, it's way too much attention. I got so.
Me personally, when I have my child, I want you to be the godparent. The only reason I want that is because of your mind and the way you proposition yourself. How do you, at such a young age, how are you navigating and saying, this is what I want to do, I want to do this, take that off, I want to do this, and patterning things together? Because I feel the generation we live now is microwavable success. Everybody wants to be popping, everybody's an influencer, nobody wants to put the work in. But at such a young age, I could see that you just had it. I remember, you might not remember, I was in Tottenham Court Road one time. I went to Mr. Jerk, it was a Caribbean shop.
Big up Mr. Jerk.
Mr. J is a Caribbean shop, and I see you outside there. He was like, what's going on, my brother? Bam, take my CD. And you just gave me the album. I was in one of my bedrooms, you just like, bam, 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 like, yeah, take it. It's marketing. But as long as you grow old, you realize that's marketing, that's promotion. That's me going to my bedroom saying, oh yeah, I just see Taz, he just dropped me a CD. So the mindset that you had, how were you navigating like that at such a young age?
You know, there's a few things. Obviously, mother was very deep within my my beginnings and my family. You know, women grow me, so they were all strong. I mean, my mum sent me to private school, John Loughborough, which is in Tottenham, Seven Sisters. I was a 7-day Adventist, and my mum sent me that. So I had those kind of enriched learnings, as well as Jamaica. You know, Jamaica was always strive for what you want. You know, big up, you see a lot of it from artists, how they're getting Styler G, same kind of background. We have that drive to go and get, and even now, I need a top up. When I want a top up, I go to Jamaica and they give me a top up. Yo, you know where you're from? We're suffer, people now have the money, where you have to do better. When I see my sisters and brothers and stuff like that, that's when I know I have to even maneuver more, because we've been given an opportunity to come to England. And these countries are different from where we come from. So that's why it is. You can either waste your time in foreign and deal with what other people are dealing with, or you can come and get something of yourself. And I lost a little bit of that, and America brought that back. So that's a good question there. So, but yeah, from a young age, man, I knew that something was in the system in UK. I believed in it. Remember, I never had a lot to learn from. Soul to Soul, So Solid before me, and that was it. And obviously, Dizzy was around me, so I learned a little bits and pieces from him. Cool. So that's where that comes.
Jumping straight into the Dizzy, now we're getting into the meat. Dizzy, how did that link up happen? Because I know you helped with Just a Rascal and his whole project, Boy in the Corner project. How did the whole link up with you and Dizzy happen?
Well, it was mad. It was coming from a studio called Atomic Studios in Bermondsey. Big up everybody in Atomic. Now, me and Dizzy Rascal's manager, Nick Denton, we formed a friendship. He liked me, you know what I'm saying? And he liked me, and we kind of bantered with each other. I had studios up top. Like from a young age, I knew that I was gonna do this.
Yeah, you have a very entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. There was studios on top, and I was about walking. I was like a studio kind of guy who would just walk from studios, know everybody, A&Ring in my young age. So I would sit down with Nick and we would politic and we would eat noodles. And one day, there was a guy called Golden Melody and Lex Diamond, R.I.P. Lex Diamond. He brought me to a studio in Brixton. I forgot the studio, and there was these two guys rapping. It was Wiley and Flo Dunn, and they rapped in such a sick English accent.
Yeah.
And they were rapping and they were spitting, and I was like, rah, this is deep.
Well, you come into East London them times, because you know them times, that's when East London was the home of like grime and garage,
bits and pieces, but that's where I saw them, and I was saying, that's how I want to convey myself. Because before that, obviously, we'll come to that. I was in the army and stuff like that.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So when I came out of the army, I needed something to do, and I heard these guys. And I was listening to Mobb Deep and Nas from those times and Jamaican reggae, but I heard those guys and I heard them convey themselves in a British way. And it was like, it was just so dope how they made me bob my head. And from there now, Golden Melody went on their chorus, which was the Eskimo rhythm.
Yeah.
So, and then now we went to Atomic Studios, which was a studio in Bermondsey where Roll Deep, everybody was at Dizzy Rascal.
Yeah.
And they laid down the song, which is from a word and one gunshot. But they laid down the song, and I went on the chorus. Golden Melody put me on the chorus, and that's how my relationship started to make that I can make songs that I can. And Nick was there, Nick Denton, who's Dizzy Rascal and Roll Deep's manager, and he just from there embraced me.
Cool. You know what it is? This is not an interview. This is a seminar. This is a TED Talks. So go get your pen and paper and join us after the break. Bam, and we're back from the break. Hope you got your pen, your notepads, wisdom with Taz. We're gonna kick off again. Bro, let's jump back into the sermon, bro.
Straight, man.
Yeah. So you told me about the Dizzy thing. So is that what led to you then co-producing the album for him?
Well, what happened was, because I go around there and, you know, I've just come from the army this time and I'm broke and things are going on. There was a producer, engineer in there called Vanguard. But this time, a lot of people was coming around the scene, the UK rap guys, you know, Whoa, FM was in the building, everybody was in the building. And I was just staying there days. I was homeless, so I was walking home to Plaistow. That was where my mum was.
And around the corner from you.
It was crazy, bro. And so what happened?
Since there's another gem in that. You're homeless.
Homeless.
You're still going to a studio every day, walking back to your mum's house.
Walking back to my mum. My mum is staying with my auntie in Plaistow.
But then that's what I'm saying. A lot of people like, I ain't got money, I can't really follow my dream. So the passion in you is still allowing you to go and put yourself amongst, you know, people that you want to learn from, that like, you know, you're sparring with basically, because you're there. So you could easily been like, you know what, I ain't got the peas, I'm just gonna stay at home, or I'm gonna look a little something to do on the roads. Like, what made you stay consistent and be like, nah, don't matter about if my pocket's broke, I'm still going to turn up every day?
Well, this is coming to a grown age, and you know, when you're from Jamaican parents or African parents, they're telling you, you're gonna be a bum.
Straight, They don't even sugarcoat it.
Straight, you're not gonna be nothing. I already heard that from school, from certain teachers. I mean, I went, you know, obviously I went to school in Jamaica, and I went to school in Lillian Bailey's, and I went Archbishop Tennyson's, which are two South London known schools. And a teacher told me I'm not gonna be nothing there. It was a black teacher, in fact, told me I'm not gonna be nothing, said you're gonna be, so all those
things. Do you remember her name?
His name.
Do you remember his name?
I remember his name, but I won't say.
Whoever you are, shame on you. If you're watching, shame on you.
Shame on you. Yeah. So they told me that when I was younger, and I just heard that a lot. Like, rah, my mum spent all this money on my education. I'm not gonna be nothing. There's no legacy. We all want a legacy, don't we? There's no legacy. And then the embarrassment from Jamaica. I think we got a bigger embarrassment when we're coming from these countries than a lot of people in England.
Big weight on our shoulders to achieve something. The
embarrassment from Jamaica not being nothing. So I knew I was always destined to be something and really push it to another level. So I was walking through. You know, people were passing through the Mercedes Benz, like enough of my friends from road. They were passing.
Bibbing man and that, giving the man the one finger.
Blackwell Tunnel, Taz. It was, I was walking through Blackwell Tunnel.
You know, you're lying.
I couldn't, this is a movie, bro. I couldn't. And I said, one day, I'm gonna have a Mercedes Benz like that with a driver. I was walking through tunnels, like walking through. So stuff like that happened, and all that, you know, you're just coming from the army, you lost that wage packet as well. I'm 19 when I left the army. No, about 20 when I left the army. All this is coming. Your mum's saying, listen, you come out on Civvy Street, what you're gonna be? There's Dizzy in the video as well. Big up Dizzy in the video. She's saying all these things. So what happened was, I just said, you know what? I have to maneuver. So I met an engineer producer called Vanguard. He was in the building. He's built some crazy things, and he knew how to play guitars, everything. Because I wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm not a producer. Say I'm a co-producer, a guy who puts things together. And I just went there and I got this idea. Dizzy's gonna blow downstairs, and I gave him the. I beat
Best Dizzy Rascal song to this day. Even when it just kicks in, you can go gym, you can go ride that, you can do whatever. That there was a classic vibe, and I think it is another song that came out ahead of its time.
Blessings, my brother. I went there, beatboxed that. Vanguard turned it into beat, manipulate it. Then I've come up with I sung that myself.
Yeah.
And then they just put it on. I gave it to Nick downstairs, which was Dizzy's manager. And I heard Dizzy didn't want to get on it at first.
Yeah.
And then after a while, he convinced him. Dizzy spat on it. And then Nick came back and said, "You got your first check out of music." And that's how
So basically, that was the turning point.
That was the turning point to know that. Obviously, when I went on the thing with Wiley from the Eskimo, I knew that, I got something here because I'm on a chorus now.
Yeah.
Commander B, big up Commander B in Trace FM.
Yeah.
He was playing it. He used to play it on the night flight.
I remember Channel U just waiting up just to catch that one. The yacht, the video on the yacht, used it on a boat. It was just a vibe.
That's what I'm saying. So, that happened, and then Just a Rascal video came out, as you say.
Yeah.
And then obviously, Simtex got in contact and said, "You want to come on the road with me? You want to meet 50 Cent?" I think, he took me to Ministry of Sound. He was playing at all these gigs. Big up Simtex. He believed in me, and you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I let him down, but some of the things I'd done in the right way. But he believed in me, and every time he would carry me to a show, I'd carry his bags, give me a little £200. He showed me love, you know what I'm saying? And I just kept on building from there.
Someone like a mentor, you would say.
Yeah. And probably showing me the life. I had a lot of good opportunities because before that, I was with Dizzy on tour. Like we done Sean Paul, we done a couple of shows. So I've learned the life before I done it.
Yeah, so you knew how to compose and maneuver, yeah.
So that happened, and then, Nick came to me one day and said, "Somebody cares about your life." Obviously, I'm partying with DJ Simtex a lot these times. Somebody cares about your life, and they're offering you an album deal, a 5-album deal, and that's how that came on the table. But there was a lot of people that was within my story. Somebody who was a very integral part of my story is Michael Million. I would have never been. Michael Million is
he used to host the mixtape saying,
sickest guy. Without Michael Million, I don't think, and a couple other people, I used to go to their yard. Dino, my friend from Lambeth Walk, I used to go to his yard and spit. Cage One Studios, Napoleon, my godfather. There's a lot of integral people, but Michael Million, he played a big part in helping me get the thing together, structuring it, how I'm gonna be as an artist. I think every artist needs a team. So as a co-producer and a songwriter, I'm good to go. But as an artist of who I'm going to be...
You need that machine.
You need that machine.
Body that's chipping in and chipping.
And that's what he brought. So the 5-album deal came, and we got the first singles. The first singles done Radio 1. That was Can't Contain Me.
Yeah.
Only God Can Judge Me first was on white label, so Simtex serviced it out. Really smart way of doing it, white label. I was signed, and he done a white label. Clever.
Sick.
See what they like, you know what I'm saying?
And how's Mumsy looking at you now? From you're going to be a bum to how's she looking at you now?
My mum wasn't gassed.
Yeah, she wasn't. Still making you wash the plates.
It's still making me wash the plates, still like saying, okay, even when the Mobo Awards went and I was nominated, she was like, okay, big deal. So, you know how our parents, even the check, I gave her a check, them things, they don't phase people to be popular.
It keeps you grounded.
Keep you grounded, you know what I'm saying? And so, the album deal came about, and that's when, I started to realise, this music thing can move.
Cool. And then obviously, not talking about mega stars, just some small names like Jay-Z and Beyonce, you've gone and shared the stage with them. How did that come across? And that must have been a mad experience.
Oh, that was dope. Well, at that time, there was a girl called Roseanne, big up Roseanne from Rewind magazine, putting me on covers, this and that. And, Princess Trust came around, and obviously they're working with, I love the UK in them times. There were certain people who, will say the names you need on your stage. And they came around and they said, we've got this big thing at Earls Court. We need Taz, Dizzy, Streets, whoever is at that time. And we went into that and, we just kept it humble and vibed. It was a massive stage, massive people. Everybody was backstage. I remember Jay-Z the first time I've ever met him. Roseanne brought him to Dizzy Rascal, not really to me, but you know, I was like, rah, this is Jay-Z, and I was beside Dizzy Rascal and saw Jay-Z. It was like really dope. You know what I'm saying? And those kind of things, and it kept me in a good. But performing, all that aside, performing to that kind of part of people was sick, man. They were throwing up their hands, and it was good vibes.
And does it take your career to a new level when you do them kind of performances?
100%. I think it gets your if you have butterflies in your stomach. It was good for early, but obviously, you know, big up Dizzy again. I went on shows with Dizzy to that capacity, so, but not that capacity where it's myself. But it gets you out of your uncomfort zone. You're ready to the audience, because sometimes you get shy. You've been doing all this music in the studio, now it's ready to project it to the people. You're
looking at this massive crowd,
audience like a wave, and you're ready to project the people. But I ate that. It was cool.
I like that.
It was cool, man. Big up Princess Trust. I need that footage as well. I need that footage.
But that's what I'm saying. If social media was around, it would have been crazy.
It was crazy.
You couldn't even come in this building. You'd be mobbed downstairs. Taz.
It was crazy, man.
Talk to me about working with Akon as well. Because, you know, there's one thing working with celebrities, but Akon as a human being, I love what he's doing in Africa as well. And obviously, for you to be part of that project, how was that as well?
Oh, man, that was dope, man. Simtek carried it to me. I didn't even know Locked Up was going to be so big. The calls was made, and I just went on the track, man. And obviously, Akon gave me a shout out on my mixtape. I mean, a lot of Americans was coming to UK that time, and obviously they were hearing I'm that guy, and he gave me a shout at the mixtape. I had friends in America as well. I have a big stronghold in America, like a lot of friends, and he just gave me shout outs, and it was good. And when I went on the album, the traction received from it was crazy. You know, that gave me a platinum plaque. One of my first. You know what I'm saying?
Many,
that's what I'm saying.
I just got platinum plaques lying around,
No, it was dope, man. It was dope having that and really seeing that and seeing where he's gone to now. I mean, the man is building countries, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's mad.
It's mad. So, you know, it was a good time. And he signed Sway as well, didn't he? So, big up Sway. All those kind of guys, they're a lot of bigs, Sway. A lot of those guys are a big part of my story, man. Like a big part of my story, and the influence they gave. And as well, there's been a lot of lawsuits. There's been a lot of cleanup. I've done more lawsuits than music.
Seriously?
Yeah, cleaning up my past, getting my name back. Remember, I've been with major labels.
But you had it when you was young, so obviously it's the growth.
It's the growth. Getting people that owe me major money, getting, you know what I'm saying, getting all my production, getting my life together. So remember, I never had that. Remember, I didn't have my manager no longer. I had to do things alone. People like Lethal B, shout him, understood that from early.
You've always seen when about his coin.
I didn't understand that from early, how to be independent. I'm not an independent artist like that. I'm a machine held artist, but I'm understanding it, owning my own business and getting together. It's never too late for a shine of rain. Just remember that, innit?
My last question before I let you go. A lot of people, they say, okay, you know, we don't see him in front of the TV no more. You know, he must be on a rock somewhere. It's alternative content. Talk to me, what is that about?
Alternative content, man, is something that is a wide scope. It's just content. It's like branding, marketing, syncs, putting music onto films, games. Say we get Chanel, putting Chanel, you know, clothing with artists, changing the game on a whole scope. The reason why, you know, it just means a lot of things: marketing, branding, you know, features. Putting people together, a new world together, you know, my part.
It's like a one-stop shop.
A one-stop shop.
Ownership and just music.
Music and just entertainment, everything. We're gonna have studios where we put on shows like Chefs, you know, those kind of things, man. That's what we're aiming at, and it needed it, you know, like from where I'm coming from, I never had a lot of things to express myself. I want to give new youths a platform to express themselves and realise where I'm at in the game.
I'm going to leave on that note, Taz. Love for coming through.
Bro.
Thank you. This is part one. We need to do a part two, a documentary 100%. Or something where I come New York, expenses paid on you and everything, and just vibe, man.
Wicked. Hey, yo, you're the man. Thank you for having me,
thank you for passing through. Thanks for the words of wisdom.
All right then, bro.
Boom. There you have it. That was free. We didn't even have to charge for this first part of the interview, but next time, definitely more gems, more wisdom. Taz, Mansell meets, you know the vibes.
100. Jeez.